Hi, this is Dave Nabity of Nabity Business Advisors. Sooner or later, there's going to come a time when you're going to need to transition your stock to other people and retire. Well, today I'm going to start a three-part series where I'm going to give you good insight on strategies you need to have in place before you think about transitioning out of the company. If you own and run a company, there's going to come a time when you're going to need to transition out. Whether it's selling your stock to other people, whether it's selling your stock to your kids, whether it's gifting your stock to your kids, there's going to come a time when you need to transition out. Before you even think about doing that, there's some very important things that you need to have in place to make sure that you do it right, that you minimize taxes, and that the stock ends up in the hands of the right people. First of all, you need to think about your estate plan. Should it be you that sells the stock, or should it be a trust that owns the stock, being the seller? One of the important things to think about is that if you retain and own the stock and your estate grows a great deal, when it comes time to selling the business, you're going to have an estate tax problem. Many of our clients, long before selling the business, make sure that the company is owned by the right kind of trust. So if there's a huge bounce in the value of the stock because you've sold it at a good price, that extra value is in a trust outside your estate instead of being in your estate subject to estate tax when you die. That's very, very important. You need to make sure that you've got your estate plan structured properly so that when your wealth transfers from your generation to your children's generation, the IRS doesn't take 40% of it, not to mention what the state will take. So, getting your estate plan in order is really, really important. One last thing to think about with the estate plan. In many cases that we work with, you have children working in the business and you have children working outside the business. And a lot of times mom and dad just say, hey, look, we got 4 kids. When we die, we're just going to split the wealth evenly between all 4 and call it good. And let me just tell you, from advisor to friend, maybe potential client, don't do that. It's really, really important that you don't give stock to children that are not active in the business. It creates conflict down the road because you have people working in the business trying to make it successful, trying to control their payroll cost. Maybe some years they have great profits, other years they don't have great profits. If there's stockholders that are outside of the business that are family members, jealousy can build if the company's making too much money and the outsiders don't see themselves getting any money. Many times their spouses are in the ear of the family members saying, you're getting ripped off. Look at what your brother's doing. Look at what your sister's doing in the business. They're getting rich. You're not getting any money. You're an owner in the company. You should be getting more. And let me tell you, it creates huge conflict and huge grief. When it comes to making sure that the business is in the right hands, you want to make sure that your estate plan moves the stock to the family members that are active in the business, and you transfer other assets and other wealth to the kids that aren't active in the business. And you can value everything so at the end of the day it works out equal. And if you don't have enough other assets to make it equal for the people that aren't active in the business, you can always get life insurance, which we see that happening quite a bit. So the bottom line is, before you transition, make sure you've got the estate plan built properly so you minimize federal estate tax, you can equalize the estate so that everybody feels like they're being treated fair and the business is being run by the right people. In part 2 of this series, I'm going to get into how do you do the transaction between family members. If you don't do that right, trust me, there'll be no more holiday get-togethers with family members. I'm Dave Nabity of Nabity Business Advisors. Thanks for watching.